So I finally bit the bullet and bought set number 21187, the Red Barn. And I say that because this thing set me back $100. So the big question I want to answer today is this worth it? Let's take a closer look. I, like many others, have held off buying this for quite some time because of its price. When it was originally announced that this 799 piece set was going to be retailing for $100, it was a pretty quick turnoff, especially when there seemed to be better alternatives. I'll probably be comparing this to the Llama Village a lot today. The Llama Village is, yes, a $130 set, but it has a much better parts and figure selection on the surface, right? Off the top of my head, I believe that set has 1,252 pieces for $130, making it a little closer to that ideal 10 cents per part that a lot of builders look for. And most of the figures in that set are exclusive, with very few exceptions. This set is a little different. At first glance, that 799 piece count for $100 is big yikes, and we've seen a lot of the figures that show up here before, and perhaps it's a good place to start by taking a look at the figures. The lineup is pretty diverse. We get a lot of passive mobs, which is great for a barn, as well as a few new characters and some familiar faces here too. The player skin, of course, is new, as pretty much every Lego Minecraft set at this point has a brand new player skin. I like this one. It's a cowboy of sorts. And the printing looks a lot better in person, I think, than it did in the original promotional pictures. And so, overall, my opinions towards this guy are pretty positive. For this premium price tag, though, the fact that we don't get printed legs on this guy is such a downer to me. It would have been cool to see some additional tools on his belt and whatnot. I won't dwell on them too much, but we also get 2 cows, an adult, and a baby. We've seen these since the first year of minifigure scale Lego Minecraft, so nothing too exciting there. We also get another goat, which only appears in one other set, the bakery, which was released alongside this. I still think the goat is pretty good. Of course, we get that brand new head mold, which is great to see. This horse actually is exclusive to the set. Originally, I thought it was a rehash of one that came in, I believe, it was either the crafting box or the fortress many years ago. But apparently the head printing is ever so slightly different. I think this was a great place to include a new horse color or a little more noticeably different head. We also get a chicken jockey. This is great because you get 2 mobs in one here. However, I'm a little bit disappointed because this baby zombie we see here, which is pretty cool, is actually a downgrade from the one we got in the zombie cave a number of years back. That one had additional printing, don't get me wrong, very little, but still something extra in a $20 set. They've omitted that green neck printing here altogether, which is weird to me. It's worth noting that this baby body is not the one that you see in perhaps the Lego City line. It has blocky arms for Lego Minecraft, so it's good that we do get a specialized mold for that. The chicken we've seen in a number of sets now, but it's always a treat to get, as it still isn't all that common, especially compared to like pigs and cows and other passive mobs. The highlight of the figure selection and the biggest sell for me when thinking of whether or not to get the set had to be the Jungle Villager. When I first saw the pictures of this set when it was released, I had no idea what this thing was supposed to be. Someone pointed out to me that these, I believe, can spawn naturally if a village spawns on the edge of a jungle. It's a very interesting mob, and I think it's a good inclusion for a set of this price point. It is bizarre to me that we got a jungle villager before we got a taiga villager. I don't know what's up with that. Hopefully we'll see a taiga one next year before a swamp one. But we are getting the swamp adventure set next year. Maybe that'll come with a swamp villager. Who knows at this point? Figures aside, let's take a look at the kit itself. I must say, it is a much more impressive structure in person than I picked up on from looking at the promotional pictures. It's bulky, it's thick, and it is completed around all sides, which is delightful. I feel like I should actually highlight the build process for this set. In past reviews, I haven't had much to say in that regard, as most of Lego Minecraft sets are pretty straightforward, basic bricks on top of plates. Not much noteworthy, but something felt very different about this set. And I think that comes across in its appearance, too. It looks fantastic. I would argue it is one of the best, if not the best looking Lego Minecraft set that has ever been on the market. There is a completeness, there is a refinement to it that I am not used to seeing from this line. You can feel that in the build process too. Despite the simplicity of it, you know, it's very blocky, it's made with a lot of basic bricks, there is an eloquence to the design. The way that the designer has layered and interlocked the bricks, it was very satisfying for me as a more experienced builder. This thing is very solidly built. Whoever designed this, and I do need to look up who designed this. I'm gonna look up who designed it right now. Sometimes this information is readily available on Brickset, as there are lists that the designers themselves have compiled of the sets they've had some sort of part in creating. Holy crap, Isaac Snyder designed this set, okay. I know Isaac Snyder as he is a pretty prominent member of the LEGO community. He has designed a number of the Minecraft sets. The other one that I'm familiar with off the top of my head is the Bee Farm. The man is an incredible builder, so I completely understand why this build looks so good now. That's fantastic. Do I have to be nicer now? Isaac's watching. Spoiler alert, I do like this set. There are just some weird things about it. Mostly that price. We'll get back to that later though. But like I said, there's something very different about this set. And maybe that is just because Isaac designed this, or maybe the whole department as a whole is experimenting with a different style of set. As I rotate this around here, you can see that it is indeed complete from all sides and looks good from all sides. Before we crack this thing open, as I'm sure you know, this thing of course opens up, we'll take a quick look at what's going on the outside. We've got a nice entrance here with two lanterns. One piece worth noting here is this new 1x2 snot brick with one stud in the middle. An incredibly useful part. Hopefully that thing comes in more and more colors. It's going to be useful for so many mucks. It's going to be great for LEGO Minecraft, as you can see here. So there's this, of course, farm section here. I definitely thought there would be more crops going on. I feel like we've got more crops in smaller sets before, but the focus here is the animals more than anything else. We have a carrot farm, we have a wheat farm, we have a potato farm, which has a delightful little function where you can plant and grow the crops simply by spinning this. You can also do that and it'll fall back into place, but it's cute. And we have an outdoor pen which houses our cows or any of the animals you want. I put the cows there. It's all very nice and pleasant, and I love the window here too. Just the simple outlining it with white works wonders here. Like I said, it's just so clean, and all the edges line up. It's really good looking in that regard. Of course, there is an interior to this thing, which we have to take a look at. Oh, I should highlight, I really like this on the side here where we can peer inside, and the masonry bricks as cobble walls or stone brick walls look really nice. Anyway, let's open it up. So it's just held together by a Technic pin here, which works great. Perhaps I'll show this from the outside too. Of course, this all lines up on this side too. So if for some crazy reason you bought two of these things, you could have an uber long barn. But there is a lot of space on the inside. A lot of open space. Some of this I feel like could have been used a little better. It's nice to have that, and if you have an existing a collection of passive mobs, you can throw them in here as well. Or it would have been nice to have seen just some other miscellaneous items like a furnace, anvil, some more things like that. But what we do have here is pretty nice. Crafting table, of course. This is actually, I believe, covering up a pinhole. That's its primary function there. Here is the first time we're actually seeing a diamond axe, which is fantastic. I love to get more tools. Would have been great to have seen the hoe piece introduced with this set, as LEGO still has not made one. So holding out hope that we'll get one of those at one point. But a nice compromise is something new like this diamond axe. Moving on, we have more stables housing our goat and our horse. There's jumpers that they're held in place by on there. And over here is actually a ladder, which I think is fantastic, which allows access to the top floor. Nothing crazy going on up here. A bed, a table with a lantern, two hay bales. These can be easily removed. And then on the other side, we have a chest. Again, the new flattened top chest, and it has two apples in it. It is worth noting, of course, that it will not close because of that new lid. I'm guessing if it had the domed lid, it would probably close, but that's the compromise you make for getting the more game-accurate look. And that's pretty much the extent of the items inside. I guess the only thing I forgot to mention is there is an egg out here for our chicken Jockey. I've said it many times already. I think this is probably one of the most beautiful LEGO Minecraft sets that has ever been on the market. The way that some of this trim is achieved and the way that it consistently is white in all the places it should be white and the roof is gray in all the places it should be gray. There are techniques in play here that you will not be able to appreciate until you build this kit for yourself. It looks incredibly simple, but there is definitely some thought that has gone into making this as refined and as beautiful as it is. I've seen a few complaints levied against this set saying that it is not game accurate, and that is 100% true. In fact, this dark gray space here you see is an odd number of studs, which is pretty hard to justify in game. You can see how that works here, as there is this one stud overhang, which of course cannot be accomplished in the game. But to people who might bring up that criticism, I ask you, what LEGO Minecraft set has been accurate? The answer is none of them. So I'd much rather have a build that looks beautiful and still captures that aesthetic than one that doesn't look good and captures that aesthetic. There are reasons that they do not make it 100% game accurate like some of the builds that I do. It is because it costs a ridiculous amount of money. And speaking of costing a ridiculous amount of money, we need to revisit the price of $100. I was very opposed to paying $100 for this set from the get-go. Having built it and experienced it, I feel a little better, but I don't think that $100 for this is 100% justifiable. And it's easy to point out the price per part ratio, which is hot garbage. But I decided, where did I put it? But I decided to do a little bit more research into the price. So this is the 8th most expensive LEGO Minecraft set made over 10 years of the theme existing. Not insignificant at all. This is going to be the 9th largest by parts then. There's another one that's snuck in there. I think it was the Creeper Mine got ahead of this one. Another way to analyze the price, which I think is a little more fair, is going to be the price per weight. I think it's going to give us a better idea of what you're paying for your plastic here compared to price per part. The barn comes in at about 6.84 cents per gram. Compare that to the Llama Village, which is 5.93 cents per gram. I looked outside of the Minecraft line as well. Things like the Galaxy Explorer, which came out at the same price point as this, but you're paying 5.69 cents per gram of plastic. The Jazz Quartet, which has also just come out for $100, 5.54 cents per gram. And you can still see that this one comes out a bit more expensive. The good news is Star Wars people are still always getting ripped off more than us. In fact, there's a $100 Boba Fett's throne room that comes in at 7.41 cents per gram. Nice. Star Wars moment, am I right? So ultimately, yes, this set I think is objectively $10 to $20 more than it should be. $90 definitely feels steep, but okay. $80 is the perfect price for it. It's big though. It is big. And that can't be denied. Ultimately, this is a set made for hardcore fans of the theme. When you get this set, you're getting a very nice looking playset, a premium playset with some very obscure figures like a jungle villager, a chicken jockey, and amongst others, a subtly redesigned horse. I can see a lot of people who don't have much of an interest in Minecraft, but just want this barn for their city layout. When compared to the city farm that just came out, this one looks better by miles and can still function as a perfectly great LEGO City barn. For the hardcore Minecraft fan, I think you're going to find a lot of joy in the set by getting some of those obscure figures and also by having what is such a great display piece for your collection. If you can, hold out for that discount. I imagine you'll be seeing this marked down to 80 at some point in the future, or wait until triple VIP points around Black Friday or whatever it might be, but get this thing on sale. It is just a touch too expensive. Even though there is a lot of good here, there's a lot to love. I'm not sure it quite lives up to its hefty price tag. I feel like I've been rambling on here a bit, but for my personal thoughts, I'm happy that I purchased this set, and it was a unique building experience. I admire that about it a lot. I'm curious to see if we'll see more things styled after this in the future, with a more polished, refined look to it in the LEGO Minecraft theme. I think we're starting to trend in that direction. I think of sets like the Zombie Village and even the Skeleton Dungeon to some extent, which was pretty well cleaned up. A lot of the sets have looked really good recently, and I'm excited to see what this theme has in store for us in the future. Next wave, coming in January, I bet is going to look fantastic too. Hopefully those prices are at least decent. That's the one thing I hope we can avoid, is bad prices. But LEGO is expensive, and it's getting more expensive. So that's life, yo. Speaking of life, you have a great one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.